To get us rolling, we're going to start talking about the project creation and selection window. Now, before I do that, I actually need to talk about project libraries, or as they're also commonly referred to as the media or project database. Now, the database is really the folder that's going to contain all of the projects that you're working on in DaVinci Resolve. Now, something that's important to keep in mind is that depending on how you like to work, you might want to have one database that contains everything that you're working on. You might want to have a separate database per client. You might want to have a separate database based on the month that you worked on this project. You can really organize your projects however you like. So to get us rolling, before I talk about the actual project creation, I just want to show you how you can find where the current database is and how you can create a new one if you would like to. So to do that, what I'm going to do is just navigate right over here to where it says projects to this little switch. You'll notice that if I hover over it, I get the tooltip that says show hide project libraries. Now, right now, my current database or my current library is called NLE. What I can do is simply hit the I to get more details. You'll notice that I can either back that up, which is very handy, or I can say reveal in Finder. I know that mine is located on the desktop, actually right here, called database, as you can see. And inside that folder is really where you're going to find all of your Resolve projects. Now, I put mine on the desktop for ease of use. Chances are yours won't be on the desktop, and you're simply going to want to click Reveal in Finder to find where that database is located or that project library. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to create a new folder on my desktop. We're just going to call this DB2 for Database 2. I'm going to navigate back over to the project selection and creation window. And what I'm going to do is just to create a new library. Now, how do we do that? What I'm going to do is if I navigate right back to the project libraries main window, I can come down and simply add a project library. It's going to ask me for the name. I'm just going to call it what I have it on the desktop as DB2. And I'm going to browse to that location here. I'm just simply going to say browse. I'm going to head to the desktop. I'm going to select DB2. I'm simply going to say open. I'm now going to say create, and I now have two databases that I can easily switch back and forth depending on the project that I am working on. Now, you may have seen something in there that's actually very handy as well. Let's say hypothetically an editor gave me a hard drive that not only contained all their media, but contained their Resolve project library or database as well. What you can do if you have that drive and you know where the library is, you can simply say add to project library, and you can connect to that library instead of creating a brand new one. All you do in that case is simply click browse, navigate to the database folder, say connect, and you're all set to go. Now, what I'm going to do is simply cancel out of that. I'm actually going to switch back to our NLE database, and I'm just going to remove this database up here. I'm just going to say disconnect. Keep in mind, even though I've disconnected it from Resolve, seeing it doesn't mean that it's deleted. You'll see it's still here on the desktop. It's just that it's now not available to me in the project libraries. I'm simply going to delete that because I don't need it anymore. And I'm now going to create a new project. Let's just toggle our project libraries out of the way. And I'm simply going to navigate down to new project. Now, what's important to keep in mind is that when creating a new project inside of Resolve, basically the project is just a shell that's going to contain all of our sequences. The sequences could be for Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, 16:9, 1:1, 9:16, 5:4. It doesn't really matter. The project is really just the shell that is going to contain all of those sequences. So what I'm going to do is create a new project. I'm going to call it Get Started Fast. I'm going to say create, and we're now in Resolve. And what I'm going to do is simply navigate over to our media pool for us to get started with bringing in some footage for us to work with in our lesson.